Sweet Jiminy Christmas, Batman. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And we're here to take a trip through the recesses of my mind because, Dragon, I have not seen most of Batman the Animated Series besides the episodes that have come before this episode and this episode, because that's our goal here, folks, on the Animated Batcave. I am the novice. I am the brave newcomer when it comes to this thing. And Dragon, I almost literally called you Batman. And Dragon, Batman, you are the expert on Batman.
You see, folks, long ago, I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman, the Animated Series, serving as his, I don't know, spirit guide to Gotham in a way.
That's right, and tonight we're talking about Joker's Favor, which is a seminal episode, of course, because it is the first appearance of the legendary Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
All right. Can we cut the Hamill voice?
Sure. Well, again, it's gonna be. We're gonna have to quote lines like the Joker throughout.
No, I know. I'm just saying, I don't want to do the whole podcast.
Sure. I'd be up for that. Yeah, we probably should.
I'd be up for it if it was Dragon. You might have just blocked this from your memory because it was so traumatic. I honestly can't believe I ever talked you into doing it. But do you remember the very Wiseau Christmas thing that we did with Monkey?
Well, I remember we did Christmas carols as different voices.
Yeah. That's it. That's what I was talking about.
Which was a horrible idea.
Oh, it was, and like I said, I can't believe I convinced you to do it. I really can't. But I'm saying, if we were to do a whole podcast as Mark Hamill Joker, it'd probably have to be something along those lines.
Yep.
So, Dragon, getting into it, of course, I was probably kind of stumbling over. I wasn't as eloquent about explaining this as I usually am, but I digress. I have not seen any of Batman the Animated Series beyond this point, Dragon. And so this was a damn good one. I'm not going to go as far as say it's my favorite one so far because it's, it's kind of juggling between a few right now, and I don't want to make the bold claims every episode, this is the best one so far. No, this is the best one so far. But Dragon, my God, just from beginning to end, I really just love the conceit of this one. It's got a really simple premise to it. It's what happens if you get on Joker's bad side and Joker just decides to toy with you? It's just it's a very, very good standalone kind of bottle episode. And it's interesting that it's a bottle episode considering historically this might be one of the most important pieces of Batman media ever.
It is hugely important. It's honestly, even just taking the Harley Quinn out of the equation for a moment, just looking at it as a Batman episode, it's on the Mount Rushmore of Joker. It's on the Joker Mount Rushmore of the important Joker episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important. Of course, is really I guess. Unless anything else you want to say, I could fire into kind of the context of why this is such an important episode.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to outwardly claim that it's my favorite of the series, but I enjoyed it quite a bit from beginning to end. It's a hoot.
Sure. Okay, so Joker's Favor, it's directed by Boyd Kirkland, who, again, is one of the kind of their A-stringers in terms of directors. And Boyd Kirkland, he did episodes like It's Never Too Late and Grey Ghost. Boyd Kirkland, he's a go-to guy for Batman the Animated Series.
That's the thing. I think I still have Grey Ghost above this, but it's still a great episode, though.
It's coming from good stock.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, this is written by Paul Dini, who, again, is one... Great Harley Quinn. He's done so many great works of Batman. But importantly, Dini, of course, he is one of the go-to writers in terms of who do you go to when you need to write the Joker. When we think of Joker, we're usually thinking of a Paul Dini Joker, traditionally. So it's a huge episode because this technically now it was not the first one produced, but this was the first Joker episode aired for the animated series. Imagine this.
Oh, really? Okay.
This episode is important. So not only it's the first appearance of Harley Quinn and the Joker in the animated series. It's your first when you're watching way back in the day. You get On Leather Wings. Then down the line, in that early week, you get that early month. I suppose I don't know if it might have been the third after it was I think technically it was like On Leather Wings, Cat in the Claw, or Cat in the Claw, then On Leather Wings, then this. And this was early in the run initially. This is your first glimpse at Joker, to my recollection. And
Mhm.
it right off the bat, I mean, this it has the benefit of having at least four other I believe at least four other Joker episodes under its belt to kind of get you to this point, or this was the fourth. You know, you have like a number of episodes where we're kind of figuring out, Dini's kind of take on the Joker, and also you have Mark Hamill getting used to the role, because in I don't know how many episodes, again, might have been three, might have been all four. Um, a few episodes specifically be a clown. You know, Tim Curry had done the voice of Joker, and Mark Hamill had to dub over him. So he was still experimenting with the voice, but he was kind of locked into kind of making sure he didn't really get a chance to improvise as much as he would be able to now.
Right, right.
So this episode has a great benefit of kind of just having stuff worked out before, chronologically to when it's the way it was aired. So this episode, of course, is not famous for that, but of course, one, we have Ed Bigley Jr. as Charles Michael Collins, and Ed Bigley Jr., who we've talked about previously.
Oh God, and Dragon. This episode starts with classic angry Ed Bigley Jr.
And again, Ed Bigley Jr. I love Ed Bigley Jr. I really do. And this is where it all started for me. Ed Bigley Jr. has animated roles on Batman the Animated Series and the various other. He's done Batman a number of times in a number of forms. He did Germs in the previous episode. Clayface, Feet of Clay.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he was the germophobic henchman of Roland Daggett. He's playing a character in that case, and he's also playing kind of a sad character here as Charles Michael Collins, and he plays a character in Batman Beyond, and notably to the film fans, we got him in Batman Forever.
His character here kind of vaguely reminds me of the character that Patrick Fabian played on Lucifer this season.
Vaguely, yes.
He's kind of like, I know there's a lot of differences, but he's just kind of like the sort of like an avatar for the everyman that's sort of like thrown into a really crazy situation.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I
mean, Ed Bigley Jr. It's so interesting. He's never played the same character. He always had he has four really distinct different roles in Batman made series.
So can you imagine this character, and can you imagine Charlie and then Patrick Fabian's character from Lucifer just having golf, playing golf with each other?
I don't know if I go that far. Yeah, that would see Charles is more of a football player, but
fair enough. Well, maybe Charlie, he just likes getting, he just likes having the, he just likes kicking back, having a couple drinks at the country club, and he's like, yeah, sure, Howard, I'll go out and shoot a couple golf balls with you. I can't guarantee I'll be any good at it, but why not? All
right. Okay, so this episode, eerily, this episode came out September 11th of 1992.
Oh, God, okay.
I'm just saying the fact that it's like the first Joker episode comes out, September 11th. I'm just saying there's always like a bit of eeriness.
Oh, man.
Anyway,
so... Sorry, you said 92?
Yeah, 92, 1992.
Okay, I'm sorry, this is going down kind of like a morbid path, but just from morbid curiosity point of view, how eerie would it be if it was like 1 year earlier and it was like 10 years from the day?
That would be even scarier.
Right. I'm sorry. My mind goes to dark places sometimes. Go ahead.
The animation studio we have on this is Don Yang, and Don Yang they did a service of work. I think they did the most. I want to say they did the most episodes of Batman the Animated Series in terms of which animation studio overseas kind of got the most work. Don Yang, again, I think Spectre, Spectrum's always been kind of the very top of the heap, and these guys do consistently good work, and I think they did an excellent job animating the Joker. I mean, honestly, in that early run of Joker episodes, this is a really great founding episode in terms of how we have like we have a landmark style on the Joker here before he'd be off model a lot of the time, or we'd be kind of figuring things out, or just be like in certain shots Joker would look amazing. Throughout this episode, I think Joker looks
Joker kind of looks more like from what I've seen of Mask of the Phantasm, like clips, it kind of looks like that style of the Joker, you know what I mean? Like a very refined Joker.
But what I'm saying is like this episode onwards when we finally kind of we nailed the style of what they aimed for with Jokers, like we kind of approximate where we're going with it. Of course, I guess the last big note they didn't kind of explain is that this is the first appearance of Harley Quinn. And I'm just wondering if you want me to go into the back. We could go into the backstory when she actually enters the episode. So if you want to wait on that, we could.
Yeah, why don't we save it for that? Sure.
Oh wait, just for posterity, to give him a shout out, we should probably mention. Should we mention like another reason?
Of course, yes, yes.
So,
And I'll also post a link in the description. So go ahead, Dragon.
Sure, folks. So a big reason we wanted to make absolute certain we could get Joker's favor out within 2017 is so that our friends our friends a show that we are very passionate about. We staunchly defend, we staunchly love and kind of plug Harley Quinn and Joker versus the Real World. It is a fan series on YouTube under the Just Giggle It YouTube channel. Just Giggle It, they have their own, their own, they they're trying to, basically sketch.
It's basically a sketch comedy channel, and Harley and Joker versus the Real World is sort of their flagship web series attached to the channel.
It's doing gangbusters in terms of just how they're tackling Joker and Harley. Again, they're on episode 5, currently, and bound to do more. Again, there's a lot of
episode 5 blew me away, Dragon. Like, I'm still thinking about episode 5. I'm still marinating. Oh god, just the storytelling is top notch.
Like, these guys know what they're doing, and they're honoring Batman. That's the main thing I love about Just Go. They honor Batman. They honor not only the animated series, just kind of they honor various eras of Batman, just kind of what those characters are, Joker and Harley. And in doing so, that's another big reason we're tackling Joker's favor, aside from another reason we're doing this, of course, 2017, specifically the 25th anniversary of not only Batman the Animated Series, but, again, the first appearance of Harley Quinn, because she was created within this episode for
So, that's kind of like a happy birthday Batman, happy birthday Harley. But damn it, if we want a cause for celebration, we'll give it a celebration, Dragon.
And if I can plug one episode that can really correlate with Just Giggle It for this.
Sure.
Harley Quinn, Joker versus the Real World. This is ever since we watched that show, and I built this up when we watched that episode. Episode 2 of Harley Quinn and Joker versus the Real World, where we introduced the character of Howie. I kept saying all throughout, it feels so Dini-esque, and this is the episode I'm talking about. It feels Dini-esque. Basically, you put Howie in place of Charlie Collins. That's exactly what we have going on here, and that just shows you how Joshua Thomas, the writer, director, editor, and various other hats and job titles on the Just Giggle Network and and on Harley Quinn Joker vs. Real World. He's just so in tune with kind of with Denny O'Neil and writers like Denny O'Neil with kind of a regular Joker series, as well as Paul Dini within this series, really figured out with Joker, and it kind of hits upon all the stuff that we'll highlight within this episode that Dini kind of figured out while he was kind of creating this episode. So I mean, those guys they get these characters, they get what we love about these characters, and they're doing they're doing the Lord's work, so to speak. They're doing great work. So all that aside, let's dive into the Joker's favor.
Okay, so we start with our main character for the episode, Charlie, kind of complaining about the stresses of his real life, like, oh man, my daughter needs braces, and I'm working overtime. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, son, Charlie's son.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of Dini and Charles Michael Collins, especially after reading, Dark Knight, True Batman story. We kind of have that sad quality, definitely kind of transferred within that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yes, he's driving home in traffic, and what's so interesting about this is, of course, we model. I love this, and looking back at it after all these years, every time I look back at this episode, this quality always kind of makes it stand out even better. Is that it's a character who has one bad day, and that kind of links him with the Joker intrinsically, and I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, this is very much like the Joker kind of like rubbing off on someone, and sort of like, it just kind of like played it, like as the episode so brilliantly points out. It's like this guy literally becomes the Joker's hobby.
Yes, and again, it almost feels like under that Killing Joke kind of one bad day philosophy. It feels like they're almost like, again, it's almost fated that this guy's having one bad day, and how do we culminate that? He runs into the Joker's. He's turned down for a raise. His kid needs braces. He's looking at meatloaf for dinner, and he's just as he says it himself here. And again, Ed Begley Jr. is doing a wonderful job as that sad sack you feel some sympathy for there. When did I turn to life's punching bag? And of course, he's got police sirens and a Batmobile. It's an average Joe living in Gotham, and that's the stuff that Dini really kind of loved to play with. And we see a few times in the animated series of just kind of we follow a Gothamite and then see them kind of placed in the world of of Batman and his rogues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're starting to really hit that with Dean. Every time, actually, in subsequent years, when Dean's just kind of pitching stories, he would pitch stuff more in line with kind of that average Joe in Gotham type stuff.
Right.
So, okay, so yeah, Sirens and the Batmobile are cutting them off, and then again, then a seemingly harmless station wagon or something, a car behind him like cuts him off in traffic,
And his life is changed forever.
And Charlie's he's had enough. It's like, okay, that's he's had it. He drives up to him. He kind of cuts him off. Despite him, he's driving up right next to him and he's yelling at him. And basically, the PG, he says he's cursing at him or he's cussing at him, but in all honesty, it's a PG version of cussing someone out on a kid's show. So he basically just yells at him very authoritatively.
I love how the Joker is kind of like framed in shadow, where it's like we know it's him, but it's like it's. Like, we can kind of tell that Charlie wouldn't really know at first glance.
Yeah, we do build to a good reveal with him. There's, hey, buddy, I'm talking to you, clown.
Right.
You think you're on the road? Boy, if I had 2 cents, and of course he's raising his fist. Not a middle finger, but he's raising his fist, and then we have, like, Joker reveal with him poking the brim of his hat up, so that just shows you, like, oh my god, it's him giving, like, a friend, like, smile to him. It's just, it's it's a brilliant premise. Again, I can't help but highlight it's the brilliant premise of that one bad day. The one time the guy stands up for himself amongst this bad day, he does it. He does it again. He does it to the Joker, and that's where Dini kind of had that cell line right there. Just he stands up for himself, and he stands up to the effing Joker. Of course, the score. We talked about the score and the theme. So
oh my god, his theme is so good, Dragon. Oh, it's Harry's Pie levels of good. I tell ya.
That's Shirley Walker magic right there. She
Oh man, I dug it, Dragon. That might be my favorite piece of music in the animated series so far.
Now, what's great, too, is that we really have it shining, because, again, this is where they're figuring stuff out. And I know we've had, like, kind of a taste of the Joker theme before. This is where we finally nailed the Joker theme, and we have an additional theme of Charlie Collins' theme. It's kind of jazzy and kind of old. It feels like almost like a Warner Brothers cartoon,
Right, yeah.
It's very, it's jazzy, and, it's, again, jazzy mixed with kind of the kind of the gothic kind of... the gothic yet carnival style of the Joker theme, the dun 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 dun, and again like the battling theme. It's almost like that old principle you probably learned in grade school in like a music class, where it's like they tell you to close your eyes while you listen, like basically the Fantasia thing, where they'd play kind of the classical music, and you close your eyes and you picture what's going on, you describe it. In this case, it's kind of you could do the same thing with like. This one theme is pursuing the other theme. You can hear that in the music. That's a sign of great music.
You're absolutely right. That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
So again, you can see all this unfold without even seeing it. Just the way it plays. It's basically he sheepishly drives away as he is pursued by, and I love this, a signaling, very road conscientious Joker. He's
and of course, the great thing about that is that the thing that set Charlie off is that the Joker didn't single.
Yeah, this is something that
the Joker's like, you know what? If this guy's gonna swear me out for not singling, then I'm going to take his advice like any good citizen would.
Yes, it's God. And again, this is the stuff that Joshua Thomas is also really tapped into. Just like he and his take on the Joker is kind of stemming from this thing, just collective take. The best takes of the Joker has been, Joker is the unpredictable quality, but also kind of Joker has that refined quality. He has a very high opinion of himself, so he views himself. He's going to be very road conscientious. Be polite, having manners, even though he'll turn on a dime and it'll scare the crap out of you.
The joke is that the Joker really wasn't driving that bad. It's just he just caught Charlie in the worst mood.
Exactly.
God.
And Dini had a philosophy that shapes his whole entire episode. Again, it's really important I bring this one up, is that Dini had a philosophy that what he did in this episode, what he likes to do with the Joker, is that you have Joker basically is like a stage comedian. Like a stage comedian goes up on stage and he'll pick a guy in the comedy club that'll be his victim. Like he'll be the guy you make fun of. And you see that in live shows, guys on stage, and they'll have like a running gag of like a guy in the club, like, oh, and that guy.
Mm-hmm.
like he'll pick a guy as his victim, and that's essentially what he's doing here. That's why he's continuing to pursue Charlie, even after it's just like it's a little run in there. It's like because now he's targeting him. Now he has to make an example out of him. They have some great shots, like the rear view mirror, like kind of lighting Charlie's eyes, and then we see just Joker in the rear view mirror as the. It's
Oh yeah, I love the lighting.
So let's see, he goes down an exit, and then Charlie thinks he's beat him, but then Joker's kind of like kind of skirts out in front of him, and he just like kind of looks at him, and now Charlie's backing away, and he's driving at full speed, and his car breaks down just to compliment the bad day vibe.
Womp womp.
So then he's running in the woods. He's running in the woods. Again, I love the lighting in this scene, as you're kind of getting an allusion to in the image we have before us right now. And basically, it's it's a dark forest. The headlights of the car is like the only light source, and it looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Charlie, he's running, but he's an out-of-shape guy, so he's getting tired, so just got a point where he's sitting down, he's hoping for dear life that he outran him, and then, I love this, we don't even see him at first, just 2 pennies fall to the ground.
Yes,
Based on that 2 cents, after that 2 cents line that Charlie had earlier, it's, there's your 2 cents. Now, what are you gonna do to me? It's the
this is great. This is the Joker, Dragon, the Joker of all people, talking about freeway etiquette. Like basically, like stopping the episode dead in its tracks in a good way to lecture us about freeway etiquette.
It is it's a demented version of the '60s Batman PSA.
Oh God! So he pulls out the guy's ID and he's like, Charlie. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping ahead just a little bit. I'm sorry. Yeah.
He just, basically, literally, it's this image right here.
We can't have people cursing each other out on the freeway. It's simply not polite. Oh God. Combat Carl never gives up. Combat Carl finds a way.
So what I love here is even before Joker says that, Collins here, what he's doing is he's just a desperate man claiming he had a bad day. So I'd like to think, I don't know how intentional it is. I would assume, Dean's comics, I would assume that they're at least it's got to be. Literally saying bad day has to be kind of a vague allusion to killing.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
And in saying that, what I love is that I'd like to think on a rewatch here that a desperate man claiming that he had a bad day. I think that's what that's what sticks with this guy about the Joker. That's why he gives him a shot. That's why he makes him into a hobby. It's like, okay, that charms the Joker on some level. Like, there's something I like about this guy. Again, thinking back to that potential story of like the guy who had one bad day drove him crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to consider. So he grabs him by the lapels, and I love when Joker's like throwing people around like this, very phantasm, like he's grabbing them, and it's a great shot again with this lighting and everything. He grabs him and it also has like the black coat and hat again, something very familiar to Phantasm. This is the first appearance of that though, the whole black coat and hat. So pulling from '89 on that, by the way. Joker when he first appeared in Batman '89 as the Joker, he had the coat. Anyway. It looks like he's about to pull someone, God knows what, from his coat. You don't know if it's gonna be a gun, a knife. It's gonna be like Joker Venom. You don't know what he's gonna. Well, I love that we don't see it though. I love that we don't see it. It's just the intimation, like it's Joker. You don't know what it's gonna be. It could be a pencil. So he's reaching in his coat. Then Charlie pleads, as we have like the sad sack version of the Charlie Collins scene. The world's smallest violin interpretation.
Right.
Anyway, Charlie pleads, and again, Ed Begley Jr. He's delivering like a guy down on his luck who's just begging for his life here. It's just again, he's so good in this episode. He's pleading that, please, I have a family. I have a family, a little boy. I'll do anything. Anything, says you. Okie dokie. Just drops him. And then we have just we just have the. Again, sorry, it's just that we've refined Joker to just Yeah, this is Dini having refined Joker to the point of, like, this is the cell of the animated series where it's Joker being unpredictable, that Denny O'Neil, Paul Dini charm of just like you don't know what he's going to do, as in you can buy that he will turn on a dime like that. He will not kill this man just because he feels like it's like okay,
Right, right.
you know, he begged, and that's the thing, you don't know what he's going to do, and he just, and especially applying later on what he's going to do, call him in for something so ridiculous. But I'm jumping. So again, he's like everything Joker's asking for. You don't, you lead the audience, you're in the dark, and that's such a cool aspect you can have with a character where you assume okay, he's going to do something horrible to him or not. But no, Joker's somewhat a man of his word, and you kind of have to trust that, and that's such an unreliable thing to trust.
Mhm.
Wallet. Those I don't carry much cash on me. Don't insult me. Looks at the ID and the information. Charles Michael Collins. Lousy picture. Lousy. Right to you, Chuckers.
I love Chuckers, by the way.
He was his height, weight, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm sorry. Just Mark Hamill, we just give it up to him here. Just he's so... he's figured out the role at this point. He knows exactly what buttons to push. I would assume he's improvising a lot of these great Joker lines, but he's having a blast. He's really just, this is where he's become the character at this point, just even this early on.
Oh yeah.
So he promises, basically they strike a deal. Okay, here's the deal. He promises that he will, in exchange for doing him a little favor, he'll let him go.
He's not lying when he says a little favor, is he?
He'll let him go, but at some point he'll ask him to do a little favor. Charlie's asking, what? He says, I don't know. I haven't thought of it yet. I just love how impassioned. It's this little thing. It's always haunted me from this episode in the best ways. After he shouts and like the staging on it, he just shouts at the top of his lungs because he's insulted by the very reasonable ask. I don't know. I haven't thought of it yet. You'll notice his face kind of like gives like an expression of like, yeah. It's kind of like a silly expression at the end of after it's like shouting very intensely. It just shows that on a dime flip quality of just he's going really angry to really like silly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch when I think of it, and I'll call you. So
and Dragon, I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's a terrifying bargain because he has his information. You can find him, and now again the Joker has your number. And again, like you don't know when he's going to show up. You don't know when he's going to get you.
But you just know he is going to get you.
Yep.
So Dragon, this is how you do. Fantastic Four needs to take notes. This is how you do a years later thing.
To be fair, it was 2 years later.
I know it's 2 years later, but you know what? That should give it double the points. No, seriously, this is a really effective cut right here.
Oh, there's aside from all the Joker love we're giving this episode, we haven't even gotten to Harley Quinn yet. There's a lot of this episode's winning already, man. I'm sold emphatically on this already. Then we have a moment that's going to make this even better. So we have like Paul Dini won't really brag about it, but I always thought he was a really excellent writer when it came to Jim Gordon. He never really, again, it's always Joker this, Joker that.
Yeah, Dragon, I think this is definitely the best Gordon episode I've seen so far. I'll say that much.
I remember this was always there's an episode we'll get to, Tiki, that is my favorite Jim Gordon episode. This is always like one of my go-tos for like the Batman Gordon exchanges. It's one of my favorite kind of Batman Gordon. My favorite Batman line in relation to Jim Gordon is in this episode, but we'll get there. So Jim Gordon, he's and this is a thing that does track, and you see this in the it's in the comic as well as the episode. In the Mad Love episode, which of course is another big Harley Quinn episode. Jim Gordon, I assume Dini might have been pulling directly from this episode when he was writing that, because Jim Gordon, he's a guy who hates kind of waste of time, and he hates just kind of, he hates being away from the job, and he hates not, he hates like really kind of stuff like basically Mad Love. He has to go to a dentist office, and he hates going to the dentist. And it's a stupid waste of time. He hates like mandated department stuff. In that case, he had to do a physical by part of it going to the dentist. It's like a mandated dentist appointment. In this case, Gordon, he's ranting about, it's a waste of money and manpower. It's revealed that he's telling Bullock all about the testimonial that is being thrown in his honor.
And that is just such a Gordon thing, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh no, like I can't have something that's actually celebrating myself. It's like it's self-deprecating in the most admirable kind of way.
That's the thing. Gordon just, does the job. He doesn't need a thank you. He doesn't need a party, and
Right, right.
that's nice. And Bullock, Bullock says, "Hey, Commissioner, it's free eats and you get your picture in the paper. No big deal." So, Gordon, he's scoffing at it. Meanwhile, Batman. Oh, by the way, little thing here. I could be reading into this, but there's this little side character who just kind of wanders by in the scene. She has blonde hair, and I like to think it
Oh,
goes by really fast. It goes by really fast, but I'd like to think that that's Harley Quinn getting the testimonial, that
I can see that.
getting the invitation that is delivered in the next scene. That's my little fan
That
theory.
is one of the things I noticed about Harley in this episode is that, of course, Dragon. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to know exactly how much of Harley's backstory they already had worked out here. We'll get into that very soon, but
Yeah, I'll tell you all about that when I get there.
but basically, like what I found really interesting about this depiction of Harley, just in general, is that she's very much a blank slate. You know what I mean? She's very much a. Anyways, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're right. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That's about it. Just the
Right.
blank slate element is just really interesting to me.
That's the thing, because this kind of blonde character with the pigtail kind of goes by fast. If you freeze frame again, it's kind of unclear, but you could see it. It's that early on. It could be her.
Sure, sure.
Anyway,
Good detail.
so Gordon's scoffing at it. Scoffing at the testimonial, and then he finds Batman is in his office. And
Oh, this is so good. So good.
now this is the scene I'm talking about right here. The line is coming up
I'm
really.
not surprised, Dragon. I'm not surprised. I heard that line and I was like, oh, that is like quintessential, like Blue Dragon 5 James Gordon love right there.
It's my favorite, basically the nicest thing. And again, there's that one Gordon episode we'll get to down the line that always kind of that gets me right in the heart. But this line right here is one of the lines. Whenever I think of my love for Gordon in the animated series, I always think of this exchange between these two guys, where Gordon, Batman's in his office, and basically he's reassuring Jim that Jim said, oh, it's a waste of time. He scoffs at, and Batman says that he and the rest of the force would disagree with him on that, about it being a waste of time. And Gordon says, well, you should be the one getting, if anyone should be getting a testimonial, it should be you. And then here's the line.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's beautiful, Dragon. It's beautiful. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 13 words, Dragon. It's 13 words.
I'm just the night shift. You deal with this mess 24 hours a day.
That's the 13 words I'm talking about. I know it goes on a little longer, but just those 13 words, Dragon. I'm just the night shift. You deal with this mess 24 hours a day. Oh my God.
That's what those people want to honor. Like I just love that.
Put that on a damn bumper sticker.
I mean, Tiki, that's all my fond memories of Commissioner Gordon from Batman the Animated Series. Just the friendship between those guys. That's what really kind of hit me as when I was younger. It's like that line epitomizes what their dynamic is. That these guys work together, and as much as you could always say, Batman does a lot of the legwork. It boils down to that line. Batman's just the night shift, and that's why you should love a character like Jim Gordon. He deals with it, this crime in the daytime when Batman doesn't have to deal with that. He deals with it 24 hours a day. It's a beautiful little line of Batman acknowledging the value he sees in that character, and it's so kind of like a Linus Charlie Brown kind of like pick me up moment too. Just saying that's what those people want. It's kind of like that's the meaning of Christmas, Charlie Brown.
Right, it totally is, Dragon. It totally is.
And then again, the wonderful Bob Hastings. Again, Bob Hastings.
Oh man, now I'm just picturing Gordon with like a little like striped Charlie Brown shirt, just all sad on the wall.
So I'm just imagining Charlie Brown with a mustache right now.
And then Batman would the blanket would be like
the cape.
Yeah, it would be the cape, but it wouldn't be like attached to his cowl. It'd just be he'd just like have the cape like wrapped around his arm.
Yeah. Anyway, but I mean, again, just Bob Hastings. He's so lovely in this episode, and again, Gordon doesn't have like a lot of dialogue. Man, it's all in the front here, and he says just this. Okay, what the heck? You talked me into it. Yeah, and of course, we have a great kind of great bat exit here. One of the historic bat exits.
Oh, one of the best. Yes.
So again, after this really beautiful little sentiment between these two guys, he says, "Okay, what the heck? I'll go." And, by any chance, do you know where I can rent the tux? And as he turns around to ask Batman, this Batman, yeah, he's pull a bat exit on him yet again, and Gordon says, "I hate it when he does that."
Great timing on that.
Okay,
I also love how it's just like it's the open window and we see the breeze in the night.
Those are the moments why I love Jim Gordon. Tiki. If I
Oh.
ever had like some us in the moment, that's one of the moments right there. Yeah, that's.
Okay, Jay. I think now's the time where we should transition into our leading lady here.
So yeah, we transition.
Take a bow, Harley. Take a bow.
Yeah. So yes, it was really a great transition of Gordon holding the testimonial thing with his face on it to the Joker throwing darts at the testimonial invitation. That again, Harley perhaps, given what have we see her later on as dressed as a cop, again that might have been her in the precinct.
Mm.
Anyway, so yes, building to Harley a little here and seeing if there's anything else we want to make sure we build to. Yes, transition Joker on darts. Invite. Yes, so. So yes, Harley Quinn. So the origin of Harley Quinn in this series, in this episode, is very casual. It's very much, Dini, Joker previously, and even after this episode, you'll notice you have Rocco and Henshaw, like the two big kind of almost Tweedledee Tweedledum looking guys.
Right.
Those two henchmen, Joker usually has henchmen, and they are named after comedy duos, or they are named after like kind of old movie characters. In this case, later on, he has when he has three henchmen, they're all dressed like mimes. They're called Mo, Lair, and Kerr for Larry, Moe, and Curly, from the Three Stooges, and that's just traditionally what had been done before, just giving Jokers, henchmen, because Joker doesn't do all his dirty work. So basically, what Dini was inspired by,
which makes the favor even that much more ridiculous. By the way,
it does. You're
just
right.
The mere fact that Joker does have an endless supply of goons at his disposal. Just keep that in the back pocket, Dragon, for the kind of conversation. Just keep that in the back pocket.
So basically, this is Dini's way of this. He had an idea of just let's spice up the henchmen a little. Let's throw in a hench girl, and he ran this by Bruce Timm. Bruce Timm, he loves he loves designing female characters, and he's basically the two of them kind of workshop this character. Where Paul Dini he did a rudimentary sketch which he's embarrassed by, and it's so funny that years later, Tiki, they released this as one of in the line of Batman statues, and they released his initial sketch as a really well done statue.
Nice.
And so basically, it was let's shake it up and make it a female henchman, because it's different, hench wench, and it's also taking some influence from the '60s Batman show, because in the '60s Batman show, particularly with characters like the Riddler, but even the Joker, there was always a lot of the time you always had that shoehorned in there female the female girl, the gun, kind of the mall in the gang almost. We always had that, oh yes, Riddler, you know exactly what to do.
Yeah,
Batman would be all
right.
sympathetic towards him. Oh, you poor deluded girl, you shouldn't be hanging around. And that's essentially where Harley came from. That's as much as they had figured out at this point. And the way they got her is that Arlene Sorkin and Paul Dini were friends, and Arlene Sorkin had done I believe Days of Our Lives. She was on that show, and there was an episode where there was a dream where she was dressed up like a jester. She was dressed up in a jester costume and kind of performing like a comedian, and her doing that voice, her doing essentially a Harley voice. That's what made it click. So that mix was just kind of let's make it a hench girl and just factor all that stuff in there. That's what gave us Harley Quinn. That's the origin.
All right, and I'm assuming that all the stuff about her being a psychologist and all the relationship abuse. Yeah, later. Okay. I'm assuming. Okay, fair enough. Alrighty, so back to the episode then, Dragon.
Yes. So
Joker is very peeved that I ask you, Holly, who's given more hours of amusement to the Gotham Police Force than me? I deserve the right to honor dear old Commissioner as well.
Yeah, again, there's very much a Judy Holliday approach to Harley. That was also you can see her figuring it out there. Before it, again, she still is very much Harley as we see her later on. But again, we add all that dimension to her later on. So right now, she's still just kind of like that. Right away, Mr. J.
Dragon, correct me if I'm wrong. Harley is probably the character that goes through the biggest arc, not necessarily arc, but just her character gets the most fleshed out of anyone in the show from start to finish.
I think you're right. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm not thinking of here. I'll say yeah. In the recurring main cast, sure, yeah. I can see that, yeah. I mean, technically, I don't know. Talia, she comes back and it's mainly Harley. Yeah, Harley, I think is a safe bet. I think Harley, potentially Catwoman here and there, but she always kind of goes back to square one. So Harley Quinn gets the most
development. The classic 60s Batman way.
Yeah, she gets the most development that sticks. I'll say that.
Catwoman, why can't you see the light?
So Harley, Harley gets the most development that sticks. I'll go as far as to say that. Sure.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Yes. So yeah, I mean, Harley, of course, you have that very much that she's the idea she's the most competent out of the henchmen. So that's the thing you have going on there. Joker, likes having someone in the crowd, and of course, as we're going to see later on, a real sticking point.
And she basically plays the role of the Joker's cheerleader in this episode. Was that kind of something they were going for?
Exactly, and that's basically the '60s Batman approach. Just have like a Judy Holliday type hench girl who is very much a cheerleader, like the one that Joker wants her around. Like he'll knock the other guys around. This is before they figure out the whole relationship dynamic of this. Fear, like give him a girlfriend, kind of hench wench sort of right now, and just to spice things up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yes, you'll notice one of the henchmen, by the way, is reading a Tiny Toon comic, which is hilarious.
Yes, great Easter egg.
Harley's cheering.
I'm assuming that's not the last time we're going to see something like that in this show.
Well, we've had a few Tiny Toons, we've had Tiny Toons comics in ever since the first episode on Leather Wings.
Right. Yeah. I'm assuming it's a regular thing.
Yeah, we've had Easter eggs there and some Looney Tunes here and there as well. So yes, Harley's cheering, and again, basically Joker doing this bow here in front of the henchman. That's classically, Joker hates not getting applause and getting validated by his hench people. And later on, this is kind of a fun, kind of full circle thing. Keeping some Harley Quinn in here is that down the line, Harley Quinn, when she gets laughs over the Joker, that's the thing. And I'd love to see Joker, Joker and Harley Quinn versus the real world do this. Joker would get. The Dini take on Joker is he gets so incensed when Harley gets a laugh out of the henchman instead of him. He loses it on her, and it's like he kicks her out. He just gets really mad at her when she gets a laugh. He hates being upstaged by his girlfriend. But
now, Dragon, here's a read I had on the whole. Why would Joker call in such a ridiculously simple favor? It's simply because he's peeved at the henchman right now. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Yeah, he has the henchmen, but he's peeved at them. They're doing a lousy job. Let's see.
That's a fun theory, and I don't say anything to dispute that. But at the same time, though, I just think the random mystery of it, I think, is just even more funny. Just Joker's has you don't know how many other guys he has at his disposal. He's struck up similar bargains to like this. That's the scary part of it. You don't know how many other guys he's done. So Joker, of course, we're going to need someone for this job. And Joker calls in an old friend. Who you calling, Miss J? Oh, just calling an old friend who's dying to do me a favor. As he's looking at, we reveal the license. Now, Tiki, this license actually is infamous and has a story behind it.
Okay.
Charlie's license from earlier on now, you can actually freeze frame the license as many people did back in the day on their VHS tapes as well as DVDs. And when you pause this, people would read the license, and they look for as many details as possible. And when you did that, you notice basically people tried to figure out where Gotham was. The age-old question, where is Gotham? And then in the episode, I believe it says, there's Gotham Estates, which basically implies New York, but technically there's always the debate, is Gotham in New York or New Jersey? People have settled on New Jersey in the animated series, and for the most part, the comics, people settled on New Jersey. Writers like Scott Snyder have kind of said New York, but honestly, the age-old truth that Gotham, of course, is a fictional city, kind of lies in between them both. That's really, at the end of the day, it's in the middle of both.
So it's kind of like DC, it's more of a Providence.
Yeah, it's always they're always fictional cities, but I always feel like they're always just they're on the way to New York and New Jersey. They're always it's in a fictional space in between them.
Gotcha.
In between New York and New Jersey, somehow you have Gotham and Metropolis right in between them somehow. They're there somehow.
And Charlie here, he's kind of moved all the way out to Ohio to try and get away from it.
Yes, under the guise of Don Wallace. He's changed his name, his location, everything. Because again, Joker had all that on him. So again, 2 years later, you imagine he'd be pretty safe. In reality, not so much.
And again, I love the Goofy Feet theme music this guy gets when we get back to him.
And again, Ed Beagle Jr. I think he went a long way just making this guy's average Joe really likable. I mean, I liked him. I felt sympathy for him. Where he's playing football with his kid now. Again, the stuff he can he had a new lease on life after that favor with the Joker. He's relocated. I mean, you gotta imagine that was cause some upheaval. But 2 years have passed. They gotten over. He's enjoying life now. So he's actually going to benefit from this. He thinks.
Mm.
Until he gets a phone call, and I love how it's casual after he wanders in after tossing the football at the kid, and then he gets that phone call that curdles his blood as it's his old pal the Joker on the phone. Again, I love Joker. One, I love that he has a prompt, and I love that. I love he's kind of reading from he has the information written down, so he knows exactly.
Which is what you were kind of saying about how it's scary. God knows how many other people he's done this to.
Yes, I mean, the fact that he has a prompt, I love the Joker, just so he's planned out ahead of time how he's gonna scare the bejesus out of the guy. That he's written down all these all the details. When I say this, it's gonna freak him out. When I say this, it's gonna scare him even more.
Mm.
That's why he takes such glee when he says, "I guess you've become my little hobby." I love what's even funnier is while he's going through all this, Harley Quinn is cutting his hair for the big caper later on. He wants to look his best for Jim Gordon, so he's getting his hair. He's getting leave the sideburns. It's funny, and he tells, "Now you listen here, Charlie Brown. You're going."
I love all the nicknames he gives to Charlie.
Oh yeah, he's got such a unique name, Charles Michael Collins. I don't know, it's not just Charlie Collins. I don't know, it's not Chuck or anything. It's Charlie. It's always the full name or half the name. It's Charlie Collins.
Mm-hmm.
So he tells him he's going to Gotham, and I love this. I love that the line he gives him: "Tell your family that you're visiting a sick friend," because in reality, it's not a lie because he is visiting a sick friend, someone who's sick in the head. And make sure you don't tell him because bad things happen to people who gossip, and we see, and this is scary in itself. Again, this kind of Joker's ace in the hole to scare the guy. His henchmen are driving, are driving across the way, just to emphasize it.
Mm.
And there's that sad bit, and again, this is why I'm on Colin's side here. He's waving to his family who are completely unaware of the henchmen driving around the block, and he's waving while he's dreading, and the music reflects that. Takes the happy-go-lucky theme da da da, big dramatic steam, boom.
It's very Danny Elfman-esque in that kind of way, right?
In that way, yeah.
Anyways. Okay. So Charlie's at the airport. He's kind of having an inner monologue about how he can't believe he's about to do it.
Yep, and he wishes he could call Batman, because again, who else are you going to get to stop the Joker?
Oh, God, I love how that pays off. I'm sure you do, too.
Oh, yeah, it's nice. He contemplates going to a cop, and the cop's going to post it at the front. As he's going there, enter Harley as a limo driver.
And this is kind of what I was talking about, Dragon. Harley is sort of the... almost like a switchblade army knife of different skill sets for the Joker.
A Swiss Army knife of a hench girl.
Right.
And then Tiki, this is again Mark Hamill. Again, folks, we can't say at the show we can never say enough things about Mark Hamill. But
let's just face it. Just in life, we can never say enough good things about Mark Hamill.
You're absolutely right. In life, we cannot say enough nice things about him. We simply cannot. But,
it's just the reality that we have to live with.
It's an inalienable fact. You can't say it's in the Constitution. You can't say enough nice things about it. It's a legally binding document. Anyway, no, but all seriousness though, just again, Mark Hamill here, just the glee at which we've mentioned he's so quotable in this episode. I remember every line from this episode that he said because I love the emphasis he has on every line. Just you see this ridiculously happy look on the Joker's face when Charlie is brought to him again as he's seeing an old friend. He says,
This is the guy that the Joker had a brief run-in with 2 years ago.
Yes, a one-time encounter, but he's treating it like it's his old college buddy, and he greets his old pal. Says, "Oh, Charlie." He goes, lost a little weight, lost a little hair too. "Oh, Charlie, are you ready to do me that little favor? Please don't make me hurt anyone." And he says, "Oh, don't worry, Charlie." I basically he tells him, you once you do my little favor, I'll send you back home. Kind of Grinch-like, I gotta say. The way he says, "Hey, I'll send you right back home. I promise." He promises to send him back home after the job is done. After his one thing, so he's in a van. He's in Crazy Clown Catering. He's in a Crazy Clown Catering truck. It's just the fact that Joker's so on the nose, yet it goes unnoticed in Gotham. That's just so sad, yet so funny.
Right.
So, basically, he's going over the plan for. I think this feels very much like one of these days. One of these days, Harley and Joker versus the real world. We'll get a scene like this with Howie. We will. He'll instruct him. He's instructing him the big plan. Where Harley's going to knock 3 times at the door at the main entrance. She's going to knock 3 times, and after those 3 knocks, Charlie. Get ready for this, folks. Big complex plot detail.
I think we need like a Christopher Nolan flow chart to follow all this, Dragon.
Mr. Hardy, bring in the flow chart. Hey, Tom, what are you? Tom, put the mask on. Put the mask
what's
on
your face?
Tom, it doesn't work if you. Tom, it doesn't work if you don't put the mask on. Put the mask on.
Oh,
I don't care. Just put a mask, any mask. Just put a mask on. Put the Nixon mask on. I don't care. Just get it. We don't want to see your face. Just go ahead. Anyway.
All right. Wow. That's a lot of build up for nothing, Dragon.
No, but seriously, don't undersell it. This is a huge, important moment here. This is a big plot point. So after Harley knocks 3 times, Charlie will do his big job. The reason after 2 years he's been called back into Gotham for a very important job. Hold open the door. He will hold open the door so Harley can wheel the cake in, and then Charlie asks, "That's it? That you brought me all this way just to open the door?" And Tiki, what is the Joker's response?
Let's see.
What is his?
I don't have it written down. I'm sorry.
Joker's answer to this very logical question. You just brought me here to open a door? Why, look at the size of that cake, man!
No, right. Do you think she's going to be able to push it out all by yourself?
Think!
God.
And again, just the energy and commitment in Mark Hamill's performance on that, just saying it like he's spelling it out to the biggest idiot in the world. Yet again, this is the most ridiculous. And again, that's everyone just honing in on the unpredictability of the Joker, which is why the animated series take on Joker is so landmark, man. Because again, it's that the unpredictable quality just made so musical and just made so so charismatic and wonderful. That's how you do it. And that's the Joker, very simply.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have this fun transition after that. Of course, he's nuts, and we transition from this is really fun. We transition to a mask on. It's like an art museum. This place is being held at. We have like a mask that looks identical to the Joker's face, but it's almost like a tribal mask, but looks exactly like the Mark Hamill Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Our museum, we have Bullock and Montoya.
Oh yeah, the real Montoya.
Yes. Yeah, I remember Montoya was also an original invention of the animated series.
Of course.
Hey, 25 years of Montoya as well.
God.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not. I didn't say you were.
Little surprise bonus, a little bonus in there from Montoya fans. Not the Gotham Montoya fans, but the actual Montoya fans.
The Dragon Gotham Montoya fans, I don't think those exist.
I think they died out with the dinosaurs, Tiki. Anyway, so on T. This bit was really nice too. It's a little subtle moment. It's really nice. Bruce Wayne is at the testimonial for Gordon. He's just dropping by, and I love this. Basically Bruce Wayne congratulates Jim Gordon before he leaves. And Jim Gordon, of course, he wants to get out of this thing. Gordon hates social functions as well. Again, he's a really humble guy. He says, "You mind if I sneak out with you?" And of course, Bruce kind of pats him on the shoulder and leaves. But I wrote in my notes here, it's so ridiculous. It's so excitedly, He came. Just the fact that Batman showed up. You know, it was really like he didn't need to come, but it's the fact
Oh
that
my
he
god,
showed
that's
up.
adorable.
Oh my notes. It was he came. That's so nice. He showed up just to give Gordon props. And again, years later, Lego Batman, we have kind of a similar thing. Bruce Wayne shows up to Jim Gordon's retirement party in Lego Batman. It's like it all stems from the little things like this.
Sure, yeah.
All stems from the little things. Yeah, Bruce Wayne showed up just to kind of, he couldn't show up as Batman, but he showed up, even though Gordon will never know. It's nice. That's sweet. Anyway, so Charlie also arrives, and Charlie comments on how sad it is that he's in a room full of cops and he has no way to warn them.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie takes a stroll down the Hall of Inventions, and he makes, and this is another deep cut kind of Batman reference here, Tiki. He makes a makeshift bat signal, a proto bat signal.
Oh, this is one of my favorite moments of the episode, Dragon. I really love the practicality of this.
Yeah, that's cool. But I really love. Here's the deep covet I really love, Tiki. So, I remember so many Batman documentaries, particularly the one that exactly the box set I'm talking about, Tiki. The Shadow.
Sure.
Shadow of the Bat, the origin of Batman within that special. Of course, leaving out the Bill Finger properly, but regardless, unfairly leaving out Bill Finger. I'm saying the way they did that. Basically, aside from that, the thing that does give us Batman at the end of the day, folks, is the Leonardo da Vinci sketch, and that's what this is in reference to. And I was so impressed that they referenced that directly. So basically, Da Vinci had all the famous Da Vinci sketch of inventions, and the flying machine actually was one of the big things that influenced Batman.
Mm-hmm.
See, because the quote associated with that drawing, that was the wing design that Bob Kane, when he was working up kind of what the wrong version of Batman looked like, it was always just kind of that winged cape look, and that winged cape look came from what we see here uses the makeshift bat signal.
Mm-hmm.
It had that quote, your creation shall have the wings of a bat, have no other wings than that of a bat. That's the origin of Batman right there. That line.
Nice.
So the point is, I would hope that's somewhat intentional. But regardless, it's also in the animated series, they held off on doing the bat signal as long as they could. You don't get the actual bat signal till season 2. So this is like a cool, we're building.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And appropriately, we're building it like a testimonial for Jim Gordon. So it's still intrinsically linked to Jim Gordon in some variety.
So I guess Alfred just had a really good instinct, like, oh, look, that's kind of like a weird silhouette of a bat. Perhaps that's for Bruce.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
I didn't realize that this was pre bat symbol.
Yeah, this is honestly, I don't know if I'm giving it too much credit here, but it could be that this and perhaps just the events that transpired here inspired Gordon to make a bat signal, in the later season. I'm not getting into that. I think it's just probably coincidental, but it was cool though. Anyway, so after Alfred spots it, and of course now Bruce is intrigued. Okay, something's going on here. We have Jim Gordon giving a really nice speech here about being this old tired beat cop. Basically means the world you guys are paying tribute to this old tired beat cop. Be really humbled to have the speech. Oh, good old Bob Hastings is Gordon. But the speech is interrupted by Harley Quinn. Interrupted by Harley making a big entrance.
We can't forget Charlie. Charlie has a very important contribution, Dragon.
Of course. It's not as big as being the Willow in the play, but
No, not that guy. Come on. Not many things in life are as big as being the Willow, Dragon.
It's not the Willow.
God. Deep cut in jokes, folks. Gotta love them.
Silly Rugrats reference people are not gonna get.
Yes.
Anyway, so Harley makes her big entrance thanks to Charlie. And she walks up there, and again she's dressed like in a little police uniform. Basically, it looks, and that's what the mayor kind of nudges Gordon. Basically, Gordon looks at the mayor like, "Hey, is this like one of those? She's coming in with a cake. Is this like a bachelor party type thing?" Just says, "I don't know. I had nothing to do with it." Mm-hmm. And, Harley's just walking in there again. She's just the uniform's looking really nice. There, she's walking up, and Bullock basically thinks as well that is like a bachelor party type thing. Oh, baby doll entertainment, and hey, sugar, you want to read me my rights? And Harley, again, I like that Harley in her first moment. She does have a lot of like fun stuff to do here and there, where she's on she's Joker's cheerleader, but at the same time she's got an edge to her. She basically whacks Bullock really hard in the shin with the baton, much to Renee Montoya's amusement. Like whack, jerk. Is calling Bullock out. So, she walks up there, brings the cake, and she has like a little delivery line. She has sorry, oh yes, she says basically she goes on basically like a little jingle, and then by the end she says to the great Commissioner G. I always just calls him Commissioner G. It's kind of cutesy. Hero to all the boys in blue, but this time, baby, the joke's on you. And again, great Arlene Sorkin delivery in her first go at it, I gotta say. It's really kind of solid, like, again, kind of musical kind of delivery. Very much inspired by the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
So she blows on her police whistle, which kind of, it always seems kind of weird, but I just kind of went with it because I mean, what the heck? The episode's so great, I'll give it a pass. She blows the whistle, and I guess there's sound activated candles. I don't know if there are sound activated
candles.
Sure,
we'll go with that. Yeah.
I don't know. The point is the canisters go off, and then within the candles, and what it does is it's paralyzing gas. So everyone, except Charlie, because she gave Charlie a gas mask, they really rubbed dirt in the wound for Joker's purposes. They all have gas masks on, so they themselves are not paralyzed, but everyone is awake. They are awake, but they cannot move, which is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Then, one of the best images ever. And I actually, Tiki, I have a statue. I have a maquette of this, of Joker emerging from this cake.
God.
Joker emerging from the cake. It's just one. It's a beautiful image, just springing from the cake. Another stunning Joker entrance. leaves him speechless, and they're all awake. Their eyes are moving. They're just completely helpless here as Joker's kind of walks up, and he basically he's honoring Jim Gordon with a medal with his face on it. That is also a bomb. Joker loves having bombs with his face on in the animated series.
Of course.
And Harley, she pins it on Gordon and Gordon's jacket. So literally, Gordon has a bomb that's going to go off in a minute, pinned on his jacket. And he's like, his eyes are moving. Like, oh god, I can't move. Oh my god, it's such a dire situation. And Joker and Harley, they're making their exit. And Charlie, by the way, while all this is going on, Charlie can't leave because there was glue on the handle, so he is stuck on the handle. He cannot. He's stuck, and he's asking Joker as Joker's leaving. Wait, what about me? You promised you'd send me home to my family. And Tiki, what does he say?
Dragon, I'm terribly sorry. You're putting me on the spot with lines that I don't have written down here.
Well, he says, "I never said alive."
Okay, yeah, I assumed it was something to that extent, but I didn't want to misquote the Hamill.
Sayonara, sucker. Again, that's Joker. Again, that's like it's always like you be careful what you wish for with the phrasing when you have like a genie wish in a way. It's like Joker again. He's so untrustworthy, so unrable. He
never had a friend like me.
Oh god, that's not great. But again, it's always that you can't trust the Joker, even if he is a man of his word. He's going to screw you somehow in the end. It's like always fine print with the Joker. He's like, I never said alive. It's just so terrifying that he's going to. This is the idea. It's so dark for a kid show. It's the intimation that he's going to send his body home to his family. He's going to mail his body home.
And you know what, Dragon? I'm sure he'd mail that package with the utmost care, like first class shipping. Like, I'm sure he'd get it home in top-notch shape.
Harley, get the Amazon Prime ago.
Oh God. No. That's the thing, Dragon. That's the thing. I think that he'd want it to be a more personalized touch than Amazon Prime. Like I'm saying, like he'd be willing to pay the extra to get it like really expedited.
Well, you know what he'd probably do is be really extravagant. You know what he'd do? He'd give Harley a plane ticket to go to Ohio, and
Oh
basically
God.
Harley, she would read like a little jingle, like a telegram delivery, like basically what you do with the cake here, and she'd say,
Oh,
you know, basically she'd give like a whole spiel of like, and hey, Daddy loves you, but he's dead. Here you go. Just something really, something really dark and like, hey, here's you. I always want to say hold over to the holidays just to make it even worse, but it's
God.
like gift wrap it. But yeah, we were getting a little morbid on that one. So Joker and Harley leave. Charlie, he is stuck to the door, and with less than a minute to go on that bomb. Thankfully, Batman got his message. He swoops in. Looks really good swooping in, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Batman makes his entrance. Charlie quickly warns Batman, the metal, it's a bomb! There's 10 seconds on the clock. Batman pulls an awesome grappling, again, I love when he uses this grappling gun. This episode's hitting a lot of my soft spots here. He's using the grappling gun to get the bomb out of there, and I love where the bomb goes. But, Joker's on his way out. He's like, talking with Harley. He says, I guess I'm going to need a new hobby. And then Harley recommends, I recommend macrame. Then also, I love this. His men are stealing, just kind of stealing like the gold stuff from the art exhibits just on the side. And of course, they discover
that kind of reminds me of 1989 as well. In general, the museum atmosphere.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of 89-esque.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they discovered the explosion that came from outside. They realize their van has been blown up, and then this Joker has this great line. Well, we'll tough it out here then. It's okay. We'll tough it out here. Basically, okay, Batman is on to us, and now we gotta contend with him.
Mm.
Okay, so while that's going on, we have an antique. I remember cataloging all these gadgets. So the little adhesive remover, basically, Batman's basically freeing Charlie from the handle. He's using this little adhesive removal spray, I called it. Again, we never got names on this. I had to approximate a few of them. So basically, adhesive removal spray. It has like a neat little design on it. Anyway, so he frees Charlie, tells him like, oh yeah, he called you his hobby? Yeah.
I love how disturbed Batman is by that little bit.
Yeah. So let's see. So he tells Batman he swears that he had no choice to kind of help him out there with just opening the door. But I think Batman would come a break because all he did was he was tortured.
I think so, Dragon. I want to say yes.
He was tortured and all he had to move. He had to change his name and everything. I mean, again, just all to open a door.
God.
Anyway, so Batman now contends with Joker and his hench people. So Batman, we have this sweet thing in Shadow where Batman's he turns the bola or the bolo. Sometimes they change the pronunciation on it. It's basically someone's like using a little thing you spin around with the rocks on, like wraps around a guy's leg. Basically, he throws a batarang at a bola, so basically wraps the henchman up like rock over Henshaw. He dodges another one trying to pin Batman with a javelin. Again, the benefits of being in a museum, you have all this kind of fancy tribal or historical stuff to try to kill Batman with.
Dragon, there's a moment later on in the episode. It's coming up where I'm kind of just like, they would not have that in any museum. Why does that exist?
I guess Indiana Jones was slipping that day, Tiki. This could be in a museum.
All right. Anyways, go ahead. We're getting right onto it.
All right. So Harley then tries pulling the innocent kind of sympathy act on Batman. Again, I think
basically kind of like how Adam West would react to a Harley-like character, like, "Oh, you poor innocent thing, led astray by bad companions."
Yeah, kind of a subversion of kind of reversal of the '60s Batman cliche there. And it's also kind of the closest we get to Dimension and Harley Quinn in that first appearance, where it's like, it's just kind of how she kind of lumped in with the Joker. We don't know yet, but it's implied that she's playing kind of the sympathy card. But it's it's a little inkling of dimension there. The animation never looked right to me on this, just because it seems really obvious that she's reaching for a knife and not really like a surprise. But it's again, I'll cut a break. Anyway, she goes for a knife, and then Babs says, "Yeah, tell me another one." And he cuffs her and says, "Oh, now beauty school's looking a lot better right now."
What I picture that, Dragon, is I picture that, and again, granted, I know that this is like, I know that they, made up the therapist stuff after this episode, but kind of in my own little headcanon, I'm like, okay, Harley could have gone the ambitious route of, being the therapist, or she could have gone the more simple route of being the, hairstylist.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, so Joker leads Batman to the booby trap temple. Basically,
with actual booby traps, Dragon, with actual poison darts. Now, why? I just want to emphasize this, Dragon. I just want to emphasize this. Like, tourists can walk into this temple, step on a booby trap, then they're going to get a poison dart.
Well, Tiki, I'd like to imagine that. Again, well, you're right. It's nonsensical. I'm just saying what I'd like to imagine.
It's not on the same level. All right, it's not on the same level, but it's kind of like a mini version of the time machine in the toy store.
A little. And again, another Rugrats.
Yes.
For the folks out there, but no. Honestly, Tiki, what I kind of read it as is that because he said, it's amazing, how they recreated this temple. So I don't think it's. I think they actually took an actual temple and they basically created it as a wing in the museum. But what I imagine what they did is they, again, not much sense made out of it, but I imagine that they rope it off so people don't actually go into it.
Okay, but then how do they showcase? Like, I guess, do they just have like the poison darts on the side or what?
Honestly, I just think it's like there's evidence of it there, and they restored it, so basically they could say that again it is recreated to the extent of how it was originally found, but like don't go in there.
All right, I'll give it
like
a
lot of
pass.
effort for nothing. I'm just saying, maybe like Gotham strives for authenticity. I guess those Gotham museum makers, like they every detail, even the oversized props, every detail. It's always your Joker lures him in there. It's the last 5 minutes, like we don't care. It's like the last 2 minutes. So basically, he kind of lures Batman to like kind of the temple. He's dodging fire. They have that great fire shot. So at the end of the day, Tiki, I don't care because it gives us that awesome fire shot of Batman in silhouette through the fire.
Fair enough.
At the end of the day, come on, I don't care about all the logistics there. We have a poison tipped darts being fired, and basically you have the drop away floor, which looks like a giant kind of like almost like a coin kind of bouncing thing on the floor where he almost falls into the spike trap. Very Raiders of the Lost Ark-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Basically what he does is
the Joker like basically kind of hot potatoes the bomb to Batman.
Yes, and basically Batman throws the bomb down there, so it basically blows the floor out of the thing, which by the way, Joker's kind of tossing a bomb at him the way he does, catch, foreshadows Joker's comeuppance in the episode, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He's having a bomb thrown at Batman, very much like a bomb's about to be thrown at the Joker. So while that's happening, while Batman's continuing like digging himself out of the blast, I guess Joker is escaping down a back alley. He's kind of to the exit of the place, but he is thwarted by Charlie Boy.
Oh yeah,
he's thwarted by Charlie. You're not getting caught. And if I get caught, your wife and son are history. So then, again, it seems like he tries to punch him in the stomach, but again, Joker, he's kind of got him cornered, and he kind of has him there. Yeah, his wife and son are being threatened, so he has all the information on him. So Charlie's kind of poor Charlie. He hardly knew you.
Love Dragon. This is my favorite moment of the episode, I think, because this is the moment where we'll build to it, Dragon, but there's a particular moment where I just lost it. I just absolutely lost it.
I think I know what moment you're talking about. Anyway, this is building up to it here. So again, this is the whole bad day philosophy of like, bad day long ago. Now Joker worked into the fray of it. It seems like he's driven this poor guy insane. He's driven Charlie insane too. Again, Charlie.
We were just talking about Scrooge, right? So it almost kind of like reminds me of the Bobcat Goldthwait role.
Yeah. And again, I think it's Ed Begley Jr. is having fun here because he's not kind of the sad sack anymore. Now he's just kind of the crazy guy on edge. So
you know what though? I do like at the end of the day, like his message. He's like, no big schemes, no grand fight to the finish with the Dark Knight. Tomorrow, all the papers will say is that the great Joker was found blown to bits in an alley, alongside a miserable little nobody.
exactly, and see, some people have taken issue with this ending, saying Joker's getting defeated by an average Joe like that. But I'm going to say that again. I think the guy just he hit him. So again, that's
That's the
just
whole point. That's the
yeah.
whole point. Is that the Joker? He kind of created the monster in a way.
Yes, he created the monster, and what's so cool is we reversed the situation that would started all of this. Where again, he's in the identical. Like, now he's the whimpering guy in the situation, and threw a bomb on Batman. Now Charlie's he basically found one of the reason he's kind of scaring the Joker right now. Again, what I would always say to anyone out there is not crazy, but I would say this again: Joker's not being like kind of he's not just kind of defeated by the guy physically or anything. He's defeated by him by the fact that he cut to the truth of the Joker that. Joker's worst nightmare would be not going out, not going out in a battle with Batman. Just having.
Charlie says that, and the Joker just cannot have that. Like that is just like the end all be all. Like that is not happening with him.
Yeah, it's not Joker fearing for his own life, because again, that would be that's sometimes Dice territory. It's Joker fearing for not getting his moment in the spotlight with Batman, not kind of going out on his own terms. Which again is that's where Charlie's got him right now. And again, it's a tragic ending that for Charlie. That Charlie, he would protect his family. He would die alongside the Joker, but also kind of save all Gotham too.
I can destroy a man's dream too, and that's really the only dream you've got, isn't it?
And then we have the wonderful. So again, it's the complete reversal of the opening. So now Joker he's panicked and he's pathetic and he's trying to buddy up to him. Oh, Charlie, look, you've had a busy day. All this running around, all this excitement with Batman.
Okay, and that's the moment I lost it, Dragon. That's the moment I absolutely lost it.
Just the glee in the animation is where he's just. Joker always has a smile on his face. He was just
yeah, I'm sorry. You cut out for a second. Yeah.
Joker kind of with that smile on his face is going down the alley with just glee in his face, like he knows deep down Batman's gonna save him, but at the same time.
Oh, that's what I love about it too. It's like a mix of panic and like, wait a minute, this is right up Batman's alley. Batman, I actually have a use for you.
Yeah. It's Batman! Oh, Batman! And then it's the pathetic call for Batman that he appears, and he says, "How long have you been standing there?" "Long enough." And then he's talking Charlie down. And again, I love just the thing that makes Charlie's thing even better is the fact that it was a bluff the whole time. That's what makes us even better to show you he's just.
Which is even more Joker-like, actually.
Yes, and it's fascinating. He gives. The gleeful Joker look too when Batman showed up is hysterical as well, just like that look when Batman showed up. So he says, "Oh no, well, Batman, you understand? This is the only way to keep my family safe." So then Joker's pants says, "Okay, here's everything on a stinking family, every names, addresses, phone numbers, everything. You're no." He tries to earn his machismo back here. He says, "You're no fun anymore, Charlie." This, "Hey Joker, catch!" And then we have this Joker, he panics and he hides behind Batman at Batman's feet. The bomb goes off and we reveal the bomb. It's a gag bomb, so it's like little confetti and stuff. Then, and Joker's freaked out. I love the shivering effect on the Joker having being bluffed here, and then he says, "Gotcha." And then Batman laughs. One of the rare times ever that Batman.
And you know
laughs.
what? It is so earned, I thought.
It is, and that it's getting under Joker's skin right there. Because again, Joker's
is
to kill Batman and get a laugh out of him. Those are Joker's two goals in this life, and the fact that this guy got a laugh out of him. It's very. And Joker said, "Very funny, a million laughs." It's like, oh boy, he's stealing my thunder. A million laughs.
Good stuff.
Batman tells Charlie to go home, Mr. Collins, and then we go wonderfully full circle here. We're now Charlie, after all this ordeal, now he can put his Joker, his Gotham problems behind him. Charlie looks forward to going home. Ah, yes, home. I wonder what Bonnie's making for dinner tonight. Anything would sound good, even meatloaf. So now he's looking forward to life. He's looking forward to all the mundane things, the way life has gotten him down. He's looking to it as a benefit. After all this stuff, he's kind of walking away a better man, a crazier yet better man. So yeah, so in the end, what do we think?
It's a lot of fun, Dragon. Like I said, I think probably the only episode I'd really definitively have it over is, or have over this, is Gray Ghost. But other than that, I mean, it's definitely up there. Like as we said, the Mark Hamill stuff is on fire. I'm really excited to get into, as we peel back Harley. It's one of those things where, of course, I know I know all the, I don't know all the intricacies of it, but I know the Wikipedia summary of Harley's backstory and everything. So it's one of those interesting things of, kind of getting to see it develop along with the show. And, just overall, great. I feel like Charlie's just a fantastic one-off character, a good everyman Gothamite. Just a lot of fun overall.
Again, folks, this episode, it's on the Mount Rushmore of Joker episodes. It's very memorable. I mean, again, like every line, again, every line. This is where Mark Hamill really, honestly, looking back, never really had to look back at it like this, but honestly, this is where Mark Hamill really kind of owned the role of the Joker for the first time. Again, this is like the first kind of like for everyone. This is very much a first introduction to them, if not like going through the DVDs, just going through the production or like we have with this. But I mean, this is just kind of we're hitting like a sweet spot with the Joker. So basically, everything onwards, like okay, now we just it's like one of our favorites is just kind of coming back again, sort of thing. That's the Joker. It's like this is the Joker you remember onward, basically from this point forward, and it's. I'm not trying to undervalue the previous ones. I'm just saying, like, everything from here is it's gravy. We're figuring them out. It's aside from that, again, just the one-off nature of it with the Ed Begley Jr. turning a really good performance as kind of this fitting into this one bad day premise that Dini runs with. Again, we kind of talked through already in the episode. Just again, I think this episode just showcases Dini's talent as a writer working with certain characters, and even with the characters he's not really kind of famous for kind of having a definitive take on. Again, the Gordon Batman stuff's really strong, even though it's minimal. They're bringing a character like Harley, who even just looking at her without kind of the fan base that we have for now, is looking at Harley in this capacity. It's just like it's a fun little character that just feels unique to what all the good stuff the series has represented up to this point. It's like, hey, there's like a little character I wouldn't mind seeing again who comes back. Who comes back again. She serves kind of the fun kind of henchman capacity as a memorable henchman, which is why, basically she was the Gilzine of the animated series, Tiki.
Yeah, I could see that.
I was saying, the character original to the show who, just kind of took on a life of their own and just kind of maintained is far more notable. So again, at the end of the day, as Joker's favorite, it's a great episode. You can never say enough nice things about it. It's great. A million laughs. Okay, folks, don't give some Bill Dozier mode to hype up our next episode. Bullock gone bad. A fantastic frame-up. Crocodiles in the sewer. Can Batman exonerate Bullock's soiled name? Will Harvey Bullock fall victim to a vicious vendetta? Could a toothpick be the key to everything? Find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
With the vendetta on the next visit to the animated Batcave. Well, come on, mister. You're the one who followed the Joker lines. Come on.
Sayonara, chuckers.